Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to What Had Happened Was
Oh,
the
what is this
Mother's Day
doing right here?
edition. It's
Yes.
KB, and Angie with you. Angie was still setting what you sending tweets. You're letting the people know.
I tweeted out. Hopefully they saw it. I tweeted out that we're live. So let's see if anyone pops in. I got to be on
Nice.
Twitch last night
Oh,
and
right,
watch.
you did the watch thing, right?
Yeah, so that was fun. I was watching along with Jim's Pulver and Vis. He's like a streamer, really like popular streamer. So yeah, we got to ham it up with them, and he's actually like a really big MMA fan too. So it was fun. Yeah.
Cool. And Jens is cool. He's obviously an old school
Ah,
hero.
he's so
He's such a
cool.
dude.
And so very hey, Mother's Day, we got my mom in the chat. We were just talking
Hey,
about that, so she finally
nice.
got up in here. Everyone say what's up, Mama Albright. That's my
What
mama
up,
right
Mama
there.
Albright? What up? What
Yeah.
up?
Oh, and she has a picture too. I love it. Mwah, mwah, mwah,
Happy
mwah, mwah.
Mother's Day to
Yes.
Angie's mom.
It's where I get my youthful glow from, like
Thank-
they don't know how old this lady is. So we like to keep it under wraps.
Exactly. And thank you, Marcos
Yeah.
Martinez, saying Happy Mother's Day. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's funny because I got my champagne going here.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait to get my champagne on. Oh my God, we're gonna be popping so many bottles. Usually
Next
I don't.
Sunday.
Yeah, next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Saturday night. I cannot wait. Next Saturday evening, even because we're gonna be on the prelim. So yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna
yapping.
set everybody up. So here's the thing: on this show, what happened was, we talk about the fights that happened. So we're going to get into UFC 274, but it is fight week for baby girl over here. Fight week for my bitch. And so we got to talk about that as well. But I'm excited too and it's funny because I was just telling my kiddo earlier today, I was like, oh, Angie's fighting on Saturday. It stresses me out when I'm working. I'm happy to be there, but it's stressful. Like I'm not going to lie, it's hella stressful.
I whenever my teammates are fighting, I like to be by myself. You don't want to be in view, everyone talking mad shit, screaming at the TV, like, don't do that, fuck that guy. Like I don't want to, be too mean in front of other people who might be rooting for the other guy. But yeah, I don't like it. I get stressed out when my friends fight. So I can imagine how you feel, but it makes me feel special because it means you care about me.
Yeah,
Karyn.
I do, and I'll go out by the octagon and watch and stuff like that. And it's hard though because as you've worked the desk and you've been there when your homies and stuff are fighting and stuff. And it's, I guess part of the hard thing is if your friends, and obviously this isn't going to happen this week, but let's say, for example, I've had, friends fighting in a main event and you're really hopeful for them and they don't win. And then 2 seconds after that fight, we go on the air and you have to pretend you're not sad.
Yeah, you have to wipe the tears away, congratulate his opponent because they might be coming on set. It's hard. It's so hard. Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't want you to win. And so it is tough. It's hard, it's hard to sometimes just shut those feelings off. And yeah, but this weekend is going to be all good, all celebration. For those who don't know, Angie is fighting Virna Jandiroba. And yeah, so where are you on the fight card? Yeah, Jandiroba.
Jandiroba. Yeah. Jandiroba. That's probably how it sounds. Jandiroba. I don't know where we are. I think we're the prelims, maybe the second fight before the end of the prelims, or the second one into the prelims. But it looks like we also have Marlene Bryant.
Wait, Mama's here too. Wait, I was just thinking my lighting and stuff. Wait. Okay, yo, Jamaican mom showing up. What up, Jam mom?
We were just talking about going to Jamaica, me and my mom. So Ada, Marlene, y'all need to hook up and start. Yeah.
Wait, when are you going? Because literally, and I just said to my kiddo that I haven't taken her to Jamaica yet. I think you, me, my kiddo, and our moms should go to Jamaica together.
That would be amazing. Because you don't want to bring Satan to the beach. You know what I'm saying?
Adam can stay home with the dog, if you know what I'm talking about.
He don't like the beach anyway.
He's too pale. He's so Scottish and pale. He's
not
gonna
good
burn.
for his health. Yeah.
We get your mom and my mom together. We plan a little trip. We all go to Jamaica. I honestly, not for nothing, if COVID wasn't still kind of a thing there, because I guess it's still not great, unfortunately, with Jamaica not being as able to sort of process everything is bad. Okay. Like, so maybe it's getting better now, but even my mom and I were talking about this because we were going to go, or she was going to go, and our relatives there were still like, not yet.
Oh, okay.
So, but dude, how fun would that be to go together?
Let's plan it out. Because if we go, it'd be awesome to go with some locals. So let's figure it out. We're going to hash it out. Post-fight plans. I'm going to get the win bonus. I'm going to get the performance bonus because I'm going to choke that bitch out and no one's going to expect it. Oh, she choked out a black belt. So, let's go. We're going to get, my treat.
Nice. Nice. Well, and by the way, our boy Rude Boy Randy Brown. He won. So that, for folks who don't know, he was our guest last week on the show, and because the Cowboy Lozon fight fell off, which was a real bummer, but Randy got elevated from featured prelim to opening act on the pay-per-view, and he won his fight. So good for him. But what did you make last night? Like, there were some things last night that I was like, yeah, no, I thought that would happen. And then some things that I was like, oh my God. So what did you think?
I think the most oh my God moment was actually the strawweight fight, because I thought someone was going to bite, I thought someone was going to pull the trigger, and it never happened. We sat there. I thought, you ever watch those old school like Muay Thai fights in Lumpini Stadium where the first 2 rounds, they're kind of just dancing and shadow boxing, filling each other out. Yeah, not really doing anything. And then the 3rd round is when the fight actually starts. Yeah. This was like that fight, or it was like that, only the fight started in the 5th round. So I'm just like, we're like watching the fight, like, how long are they going to do this? And I think I was most surprised by Rose's reaction at the end of the 5th, because she took Carla down, which is what everyone was saying. Like, she should be taking her down. Like, she should be doing, if she's so afraid of the takedown, she should at least threaten it to get in and do some stuff and then get out, instead of just hanging out on the outside, dancing and, just avoiding the fight. But when she got that takedown on Carla in the 5th round, and then she stood up and went, Rah! Everyone was just like, are you sure? Like, why are you celebrating? Like, he literally did nothing. And I think because of my experience with close fights, quote unquote close fights that aren't even close, but for some reason they're close and end up being split decisions. Like, the judges make them look close, even though everyone says they're not really won. I am never sure when it goes to the scorecards. Like, I'm never sure. I'm always upset. I'm always like, oh, okay, here we go. Are they going to fuck me again? So for her to be so confident that she sealed the deal, I was like, man, it must be nice to be like that ignorant, like, it must be nice to just have that much faith in the system and whatever you think the judges are looking at, because that's not what they were looking at. So I do think that Carla was the right person to win, but I think the most fair thing would have been a draw, just because neither of them really put together an offense. Carla was trying to get in, but she was also disengaging, and Rose was disengaging. So you literally had 2 people coming almost close enough to hit each other and then disengaging over and over again, like same side magnets, I
was just gonna say, magnets repelling each other.
Yeah. So it was a really strange fight, and I don't think I've ever seen a fight that strange before, because we've had the fights where like someone would pull guard and then they just stare at each other for a while, but never seen a fight like that. 5 rounds of just staring at each other, and then 1 round of a fight. Like, it's crazy. So, or 4 rounds of staring at each other. My bad. Well, so that was the biggest wow to me out of the entire night. Just, I was like, wow, this is really still happening. It's the 4th round and it's still happening.
Well, and to your point, I believe wow is what Rose said when their decision was read. Like, I remember she's just like, wow, like, you know,
Wait a
like,
second.
yeah,
This
wait a
wasn't
minute.
this wasn't in the script. Yeah.
Right. And then seeing, you know, the interview after, and I think it was, you know, I don't know who put it on Instagram, either ESPN, obviously, or UFC, with a pull quote from Rose saying, hey, you know, do I get credit for being defensive? You know, every time I come out here, do I need to get my face smashed, or do I need to smash faces, and that kind of thing? And I understand her point, you know, because the whole argument is always, you know, to beat the champ, you got to really beat the champ. And if it wasn't that kind of a fight, then you would think, well, the deference would go to the one who already holds the title. If nobody seemed like a clear victor in it, right?
Yeah.
It's tough too, and maybe, I mean, there's so many layers to this one, right? With Carla having beaten her before as well too. There's like that layer to it.
There's a lot of drama with this fight, when I feel like if they had just gotten a swing fest, because I always say, when you're standing in front of each other and you guys are filling each other out for more than half the round, you're still not really in fight mode yet. You know, you're not in that flow state yet. And we always talk about flow state when fighters come on and talk about getting a knockout. My finishing thing, my key to finishes is being in that flow state and not thinking too much about what's happening before or what's happening after, or what their corner is saying. Just reacting to the situation because you have faith in your muscle memory, you have faith in all the techniques that you practice over and over again. And I feel like when you're standing in front of each other, just like moving and jucking and jiving, then you're not in a fight yet. You're still overthinking everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like that fight would have just emerged if they had just started swinging at each other early on. And that's what the fifth round was a fight, you know, but it just started. So we still don't really know who's going to take over after that fifth round.
But I also can't fault either girl for their timidity in understanding, you know, Carla's obviously very cognizant of Rose's striking, and the fact that she's a submission threat, and the fact, you know, she's a well-rounded champ, you know, and I can understand your hesitancy on certain things to engage or to get into a certain range. But with Rose having longer arms and this and that, like, I know a lot of people probably expected her, you know, to do what she's done to other people. But other people she's fought haven't been as big of a takedown threat as Carla, and they also haven't all beaten Rose before, you know? So I can't
a lot of the best defense for takedowns is punching people in the face, or at least punching them in the chest. And she did that a little bit, but that was, I think, the one round that she won. She started landing those long jabs to the chest.
Yeah.
And to be honest, she could have done that all 5 rounds. Only that jab, run away, jab, run away. And she would have won the fight. Like,
yeah, I understand why you don't.
She could have GSP'd it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
he used to win fights with jabs. Right. I understand you don't want to kick. I get it.
Like, she could have won the fight doing that. But the fact is, she didn't throw anything in those first 4 rounds. A little bit in the 4th, but it was negated by the takedowns. And then in the 5th, she finally got her groove. If she had started earlier, then I think she might have gotten her groove towards the end and at least taken the last 3. But like, that's all speculation. Like, we don't really know what was going to happen because the fight didn't really happen. That was a 1 or 2 round fight at most. So yeah, it's a tough one. And I understand the timidity too. Like, I'm getting in there. It's rough, but like, I also could not imagine going into that 3rd round thinking I'm gonna just do what I did the first 2. You know, I could not imagine that, because if anything, I remember Carla landed a push kick to Rose's face, and Rose's face was so funny. She was just like, bitch.
I'm sorry, what did you just do?
Like, she landed a push kick to her face right before the bell rung, and she looked at her as if she threw it after the bell rung. Like, that was how upset she was about it. And it was just like, dude, that won her the round. That one push kick to the face a second before the bell rung won her the 2nd round.
Well, this person, M. Moore, is saying Carla won by aggressiveness and octagon control in this fight. Damage wasn't as important because, neither of them really took damage. So
Rose had a little more marks on her face than Carla did. It was probably about the same, but like, Rose a little paler, so you could see it a little easier on her. But man, it really, like, neither of them could have been mad about losing the fight, but I felt like the right person won. Just like, who's that? Who said that? Who said that?
Oh, that was,
give him credit.
Yeah, that was Mar. Mar saying that.
Yeah, and Mar, just like you were saying, aggressiveness and just walking her down and not being the timid one. Jens Pulver was like talking about yellow cards.
Okay, yeah.
Well, he's like, where's the yellow cards?
Yeah, here's some questions coming in from your Twitch here. Jackie Daytona saying, what about the differing advice from Pat and Trevor? How much did that hurt Rose? And there was a couple, she's also, or Pat, I don't know if Jackie's a he, she, or they, but Jackie also saying Pat telling Rose to keep being inactive and the crowd booing meant it was working. And that seemed like odd advice. And that's kind of what I'm getting at is afterwards when Rose was saying, hey, yeah, don't I get credit for being defensively sound? Why do I need to always go out there and get smashed or smash somebody else? And I understand that, sometimes
because it's a fight.
It's a fight. And I guess what it is it's almost
it's like why do I have to win a basketball game if I'm like dribbling really well? Why do I have to make baskets if I'm dribbling really well? Like, it's a fight.
Okay, I get
many like crossovers you can do. Like, you have to score.
No, you gotta fight. And I get that. You gotta fight and you gotta go to war. But I guess it's almost the same thing, and obviously on a way more extreme thing, right? But like, what if Darren Elkins left a fight and wasn't bloody and trashed? You'd be like, was Darren Elkins in a fight that night? And maybe that's the thing. Like, maybe people got so used to seeing Thug Rose and like these explosive fights, these dramatic fights, all these things. And maybe they just got so used to that she wasn't getting credit. Like I'm saying, the whole idea of you got to really smash the champ to be the champ. I can see where her frustration lies. That's all I'm saying. I can see where she might be like, I don't get it.
Yeah, but it was egregious, like how much she didn't fight. There was one point in the second round where Carla stopped moving. She was in the middle of the cage. She stopped moving and Rose backed all the way up to the fence. Yeah. And that's when it was clear who was actually being the disengaging one. Like, Carla would go back to the middle of the cage every time she would do something. And I thought that was bad on Carla's part because she needs to back Rose up to the fence to get like a nice takedown. Like, it's easier to corner someone who's that like good at lateral movement when their back is to the wall because they have one less direction that they can go. Mm-hmm. But to Carla's credit, she was staying in the middle of the cage and Rose was circling hard and not landing anything. And the not landing anything, if she just jabbed and then circled hard and landed 2 jabs and Carla landed nothing, Rose would have won each round, but
here's the thing. I also don't want to be one of those people who doesn't give Carla her due because that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people and that's really kind of the storyline of Carla, right? Being underappreciated, undervalued in a lot of ways. I mean, this is the inaugural champ, and obviously she had beaten Rose once before. And so to me, as much as the fight might be frustrating for people or whatever, like you have to give Carla her props. The fact that if you can make your opponent so scared of your gifts and your thing, I mean, like that's to walk in there knowing like, oh my God, like I changed everything about this person's fight style because they were scared of me. Like that's Carla should feel good about that.
She should.
I know some people are saying like, okay, she's not going to hold it very long. And I don't know if you saw Jessica Andrade. Did you see Jessica Andrade?
What did she say?
Well, okay, what did she say? I got to read it because I even read it to my daughter.
I was wondering what she was thinking.
I was like, oh, snap. Like my girl held nothing back. And I was just like, ouch. Okay. So she kind of roasted her a little bit. Let me see what sorry, I want to read it exactly here. Hold on,
and while you're looking for that, I'll just say that Andrade's fight with Rose, it took a huge turn for Andrade in that third round, the second fight of Andrade versus Rose. It was a 3-round fight. In that third round, she almost finished Rose. So I know she was seething in her seat watching that and just thinking, seriously, like, this is what you bitches are gonna do, like, you know, like, seriously, oh my goodness. So I know she was like licking her chops, like, oh man, just got me a nasty finish, I'm ready to go, man. Definitely.
Yeah, okay. I need to find, dang it, where is the, okay, I'm just gonna look on Twitter. I'm gonna look at, I saw it as a post that somebody had made, like somebody had made a meme, you know, like a meme of it or whatever. But here's the actual tweet that she wrote.
I want to see,
because she's such a, okay, yeah. Oh snap, here it goes.
Okay.
So she goes, killing me. Okay, she goes,
oh, here's a meme. I found it.
She goes, I want to say that this is Jessica to Carla. Okay. I want to say that your fight yesterday was the worst in strawweight history. Champion of boredom. I can't wait to rip your head off. Congratulations on the boredom belt, but fans of this sport want to see a massacre. I'll do. And
oh my God.
My girl pulled no punches, and Jessica is a beast. And we know, obviously, you know firsthand how aggressive that woman is. Yeah. And I was just sort of like, okay, Jessica's like planting her flag. She wants that fight, and she's been winning. She's been looking great. But I mean, I know she's been kind of going around or whatever. But like, I thought she was just like, wow, she just called her out on that.
I think that's a really interesting fight too, because oddly enough, they haven't fought yet. Andrade is just so heavy in every department. She's like a heavy hitter, but she's not as precise as Rose is. So I feel like Carla will be more willing to engage and even let Andrade come to her. But like Andrade's grappling, her wrestling, her big strong ass takedowns, like she's gonna be a handful. I'm gonna be one of the few people who aren't counting Carla out. Just like I was this fight. I was like, yo, Carla's wrestling is on point right now. She's passing guard. She's not staying in guard. She's making it more exciting, aside from the last fight. But yeah, that is a really interesting stylistic matchup. I think Carla has the technique, just like a good striker would against Andrade, like a technical striker like Rose is against Andrade. But Andrade has the power. She has the power driver. She has like all the big submissions, and she has the cardio to do it over and over again. So that's really the fight I want to see. Like, I don't want to see the winner of Weili Joanna, because Carla's already fought Joanna. I think Weili, she already got to mess around with title fights a bit. Like maybe get her one more fight before the title shot. I think Andrade should get it, or Rodriguez should get it. Like, I think those are the most fair matchups. Even though Andrade's had a bunch of title fights too, I think I just want to see the violence and see what happens. Like, I want to see if technique overcomes the strength and the brutality, because Andrade's all about just going in and grabbing something and not letting go.
Well, right. And the fact that I'm looking here, because the thing about that strength and everything too, is the fact that, Jessica's bounced between a couple of divisions and, so yeah, I agree that she is somebody here. I just want to look at the, they haven't up on the UFC site. They have not updated all the rankings and everything yet, but let me see here. Wait, where is the, okay. So yeah, so Weili is number one. They had, prior Carla was number two. So at this point, Rose will basically become number one contender or number two. Zhang Weili is still going to be there, but right. Marina Rodriguez, number three. Mackenzie Dern is also on the way up. I mean, Mackenzie versus Carla, you have that grappling, jiu-jitsu versus grappling. You have you have sort of that stylistic matchup. But Andrade was currently number 5 before this. So I'm an Andrade fan. Like, I love her violence that she brings. So to me, she's just exciting to like put with anybody, because she's just like a little firecracker,
Yeah, for sure. I'm just tired of these girls fighting each other over and over and over again. Like,
I hear you.
yeah,
I hear you.
that's why it annoys me. But yeah,
So here's a question for you, Ange. Here it's Geo59 saying it's hard for strikers to be themselves when wrestlers are shooting. Janjidoba has BJJ. Angie, does her BJJ and durability make you change? Can you still be yourself against that style? And I mean, I guess that's in a way, right? You versus Virna could be the same as Rose versus Carla in a way, right?
Yeah, but she's not really a wrestler. Like she has kind of like her big long grab style takedowns, like and like my coach calls it groveling, like she grovels, but she's strong, so she can get it. Like she climbs up your leg like a fucking pole, like the jiu-jitsu people. They always do that rope exercise.
Yes,
climb up, your forearms are all fucking big and shit. But ever since the Watterson fight, I realized that after she took me down, it bottled up my striking, and I was doing an amazing job. And then she took me down, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to throw anything." So that's when I started just focusing on my grappling and my wrestling as much as I would if I was a grappler. And I feel like that really changed my game, because before, and that's part of the reason why I left the Alliance too. Now I'm at Alliance, which is the fancy jiu-jitsu alliance.
Right, because the other one was it's much more of a striking gym.
It was much more of like a boxing,
footwork,
slash wrestling type gym, but it was still very like MMA oriented. And I felt like I needed to get more of a specialist approach to just the wrestling side and the jiu-jitsu side. So that's what I've been focusing on since the Watterson fight, and it's paid back in dividends. So unfortunately, my fights, they keep going to decision, and it's really exciting for me to get in a grappling exchange in this fight, because I know that's what she wants. I know how to stop her from getting it. And the more you stop someone from getting the takedown, the more desperate they get, and the more you can fuck them up. So the game plan is desperation, make her desperate. And in order to do that, I have to throw. I have to be comfortable in there. And I've gotten a lot more comfortable against people whose main goal is to grab my legs than I used to be. So that's how it is. Back in like the Invicta days, that was something that I had to worry about. I didn't feel like I had to worry about it as much when I fought Watterson, but I felt like that would have edged me a little bit more. But especially for the fucking judge that gave her 4 rounds, bitch. But but going into this fight, I feel really confident about being able to negate all that and still be just as comfortable on my feet. And that comes with experience too. So thanks, Gio, for the good question, because
it is a great question.
I guess now I'm getting ready for my media stuff, and I'm so tired of like the split decision questions, but I know it's going to come up, and that's like a less annoying one to answer.
Well, and it's true because, like you said, it's that frustration thing, right? If somebody thinks they have that secret weapon, and you prove to them pretty early on, like, oh, that secret weapon, you thought,
I got that one too. I got it in gold.
Crap, right? They're like, wait, what am I going to do? And I feel like, you make them have to, in between rounds, they're going to be like panicking and readjusting because the thing they thought was going to work is just not going to work now.
Exactly. So I'm banking on that. I'm banking on her wanting me to make the same mistakes that I made a year or 2 years ago. And I just feel really strong everywhere. Like I feel like next time I fight a striker, takedowns, submission, that's going to be the key. I tried it in my last fight, and then we worked on how I could have gotten closer to those submissions I was going for in my last fight. And, I just have a really strong team around me. We all vibe together. We're all working hard for the same goal. So, it feels good.
Nice. Well, Raw Lady Juice is the worst fight ever. Both said in the post-fight interview that they didn't want to get hit in the face.
Oh, no.
Fight, or was it? I don't know, but that's a funny name, by the way, Raw Lady Juice.
She wanted to see that Raw Lady Juice.
She wanted Raw Lady Juice all over the place.
Lady Juice.
Just bleed. But so Jimmy Jam 213, 213, you get credit for being defensive, but you can't win a fight with zero offense. It isn't freeze tag where you're just trying to not get touched.
Nice. I like that analogy.
Yeah. And this person is saying also, do you think Rose having her nose reconstructed added to her timid fighting and her comments about not getting her face banged up?
Oh, I did not know
Because
that.
remember that was the whole thing where she said the whole thing about like, oh, I don't get credit for I had that. I don't get credit for being defensive. You guys want me to like, I get smashed up every time. Like, what the hell,
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
I
people let their nose just do its thing when it gets broken though. Like my good friend Brendan Logney, the British
Loughnane?
guy.
It's Loughnane.
I don't fucking know. Yeah, Loughnane.
Loughnane is
Logney.
Loughnane.
I'm so Yankee.
No,
like
it looks like Loganane or something, but it's Loughnane.
Loch Ness monster
Or Loughnane or Loughnane or something.
Yeah, something like that. But no, you got it right, I'm sure, because I suck at names. But yeah, my friend whose name I can't pronounce, his nose is so crooked, and it's really funny because he's actually really handsome. So I didn't notice for a long time, but he's had that crooked nose for like since I've known him. And a lot of fighters, they'll wait until like their career is done to actually get it like rebroken.
Right after, because why would you get it fixed during your fight career? Like,
so I just assumed that she just waited. Like I just assumed she knew it was broken and eventually she'd get it fixed. But that, I guess sometimes when it
but if you can't breathe, if your septum's all trash and you can't even breathe, then you need it to fight. You can't fight if your nose is garbage. So
exactly. So yeah, it definitely does something. It definitely fucks with your performance a bit, especially if it's your first fight since but it isn't. No, she's fought. She's fought with it. Maybe there was trouble after that she didn't talk about, like after the Whaley fight.
Maybe. But I will say this:
little nose got sore.
I hate to say this too, though, and it was a rough night for Trevor because Rose and Justin Gaethje are teammates, and so I know it was a rough night for them. But as we have mentioned before on this program, I'm one of the biggest Charles Oliveira fans on the planet. So I'm not, I hate to say it. I'm not, I like Charles Oliveira. So as I was very upset that he didn't make weight. And I know that there's a whole back and forth thing about the scale, whose fault it was. Did Arizona even hold legitimate weigh-ins? Like, Scalegate, was there this and that? And especially because he had tweeted out, like weight on check and this and that. And when people feel so confident about it and then they miss, and I feel bad for you guys, and you and I both know, but obviously the people who watch this don't necessarily know that there are different scales. There are scales that say like, do not touch, and like official scale, and like, don't F with this. And that's what you guys go on. And so if this is literally a question of somebody messing with the quote unquote official scale back and it not being calibrated correctly, like that really is that's a major effing problem. That's a major effing problem. And so I was very upset to hear that he had gotten stripped, or that would be stripped, as soon as the fight commenced. Because like I said, I'm a huge Oliveira fan. And then when you hear that there was just all this just recklessness going on with the scale and who knows what was actually legit, that's problematic. So I'm sad for him that he didn't get to still walk out of there being called the champion. But still in all, another classic Oliveira fight. He's now got, I think, third or fourth most fight wins in the UFC history with 21 now, because, Cowboy is the most with 23 and tied with a couple people. But if we sort of put the scandal and the weight stuff aside or whatever, like, Oliveira and as soon as you get dropped by Charles, you got I think I would just be like I don't even know what I would do, but I would just be like, how can I block every submission? How can I turtle? Like, I would try to protect my neck, I guess, but at the same time, I don't even know. Like, I would just probably turtle up and be like, please just don't grab anything because he's such a machine. And it's so, to me, when you see people who are great at what they do, the fluidity, the ease, the confidence with which he just does his thing, it's friggin' poetry, man.
Yeah, man. Who did Trinaldo fight
Danny Roberts.
Yeah, dude, Trinaldo had Danny hot chocolate. Poor hot chocolate. He was looking extra nice with the marshmallow on top, with the bleach blonde hair. Oh my god! But what I was gonna say, aside from the hotness, but I digress.
Who, by the way, Danny was the guest. He was on with me and Hanato on Tuesday Night Festivities last week.
Nice.
Looking so fine.
Yeah.
So worth checking out, people. It was a really fun episode.
Yeah, check it out. But Trinaldo hit him and had him dead to rights, and then he jumped on top and did not get the submission. He went for the submission so hard and did not get it. And that goes to show you how good Charles Oliveira is, because he jumped on top right after Gaethje was out. He was in like the triangle on the back mount triangle type position, and Gaethje was defending well, and it looked like it was bad, but then he got out. He was out of there, and Oliveira was like, okay, and went to his back again, and it's just like, yo, he is just unstoppable. Like, you get out of one submission, you're already in another. Like, if you're escaping, you're basically already caught.
You're helping him set up another one.
Yeah, it's so crazy when people are good at setting traps like that. I'm always super impressed, especially now that I'm grappler Angie. You know, I'm like, oh, that was really interesting, and I'll send a video to my coaches and my teammates. I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. How do you set that up? And they're like, oh, well, actually, he used it. So it's really fun seeing someone who's just so dominant on the ground, and he's not afraid to throw. Like, he's not afraid to throw everything into his punches. He's not afraid to get dropped, because they're not going to jump on top of him, because
nobody's going in there. Nobody's jumping on him.
Nobody's in it. I'm like, dude, I need to get my jiu-jitsu nice like that. So if anyone drops me, they'll be like,
yeah, they'll just wait for you to get up.
Yeah, and I can like take my time, dust my like fight kit off, you know, look over my corner. What happened? You know.
Right.
But yeah, that was it's really impressive how dangerous and effective Oliveira is on the ground and on the feet. Like, I don't think, even though he does this to everyone, no one ever expects him to drop his opponents. Like, no one ever expects him to do it. And then he does it the first punch he throws. So I was super stoked watching that fight. I felt for Justin, because he's somebody who I do fanboy over. I'm just like,
he's a great dude.
So fucking good. Like, he's such a warrior. And it's not just the toughness, it's the skill and the fact that he's not willing to hold back. And that's something that a lot of people, you know, have issues with or have had issues with. And it's a huge hump to get over, just being able to fully commit, full send, 110%, you know, like, what's the thing Deadpool always says in that movie? 100%, like 100% effort or maximum effort.
Maximum effort or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I always think when I'm like going in there. I'm like, okay, maximum effort, you know, don't hold back. And he does it every time he steps in there. So I felt for him. I
know that's the thing that's so tough, because Justin, when we were on the UFC Live, you know, 2 weeks ago, we had Justin on, you know, we did an interview with Justin, and we were all talking to him, and we were like so fired up, and we're like, dude, this fight's gonna be ridiculous. We can't wait. And even Justin said, you know, I'm going for it. I'm holding nothing back. I'm doing everything I can. This is probably my last chance. Like, he knew it, and he owned it, and he went for it. And so, you know, watching it, like I said, I am a huge Oliveira fan, but I also I love Justin Gaethje because of the whole fact that he does sacrifice everything for us. You know what I mean? And so how many times did he used to not even wrestle in his fights? Because he's like, well, fans don't like wrestling, so I'm not going to do it. Meanwhile, he was, you know, an all-American wrestler or whatever, or holds all these records in Arizona for his wrestling, but he used to not even wrestle because he's like, fans don't like it as much. And I just get excited. It's insane. Like, he sacrificed W's sometimes just to be entertaining.
Yeah.
So how do you not praise Gaethje? Like, how is Gaethje not one of our favorite fighters of all time? Right? Yeah, he's like amazing.
Yeah.
And he's so cool. And you know, like when you see him outside the octagon, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. And so that one is tough to take. And again, the whole idea that with Charles not making weight and losing the belt, like, I'm not going to lie, there was a part of me that did wonder, will that motivate him more? Or will that totally F with his mindset going in there,
Yeah.
because it's interesting, right? Because some people, I've asked this of champions before anyway, too, like say they're defending their title. And I've asked him before and I say, hey, let's say it's your third defense of this title. Do you consider this fight, are you going in there to try to win the title again? Or do you walk in there going, this is mine and you need to steal it from me? And so people go in with different motivations anyway. And I don't exactly know what Charles's was, but if he's the type of person who feels he has to go in and win the title every time anyway, then it might not have made a difference. Yeah. But if he's the type of person that went and it was like, I'm defending what's mine, you have to take this from me, and then he was stripped of the thing that he worked so hard to get, and I could see how that could totally mess with his brain. Like, so I was a little curious how that was going to play out. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and it seems like he handled it gracefully, as gracefully as one could. After that happens, it's embarrassing to miss weight. Like, you don't, it's not like you set out to cheat. You set out to just stroll in at whatever fucking weight you want, like he tried to make weight. And I know a lot of people are very unsympathetic, including like Gaethje, just super unsympathetic of the fact that he missed. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like it wasn't that big of a deal just because most fights at that weight class happen at that weight. You know what I mean? Like fights that aren't title fights happen at that weight. But at the same time, like, I'm happy Gaethje got that extra 30% because that's fair. And I know they're going to be on top of the scales my fight week, which I'm happy about because fuck that. Like, I don't want to fight a heavy bitch and I don't want to be a heavy bitch, So like, I'm happy that they're going to keep their eyes on that too. But there's also always the conspiracy theorist in me because all the Brazilians were like, oh, okay, the weight 0.5 off. Weight was 0.5 off, and I haven't heard that from any other sources.
Because Norma Dumont missed weight too.
Yeah, so I haven't heard that from any other sources. So the conspiracy theorist is always working in my head. But then the other conspiracy theorist is like, he should have talked to DC. He should have talked to... He should talk to DC. Like, okay, so how much pressure do you put on the towel?
The towel gate. So what you gonna
how much?
How hard are you? Exactly. Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier.
Hall of Famer Daniel
well deserved,
Cormier.
Actually, as much as we're deriding him right now. Hall of Famer for sure. Hall of Famer.
Hey, if you're a Hall of Famer, you get that shit back. And that's what Oliveira did. He got it back. He basically kept his belt. I don't think they're gonna give anyone.
We all still think of him as the champ, right?
Yeah.
Like, nobody doesn't call him champ.
Exactly. They're not gonna give anyone else that shot, but they could. And that's where the discrepancy is of getting your belt taken away. They could give someone else that option to fight for the title now that it's vacant.
Right. So what do you think of the whole thing now, right? Because Conor, and we'll get to some of these comments too, because the whole Conor thing now, especially in light of Chandler, doing the Cheeto kick to, the kick that Cheeto did to Frankie Edgar is that Michael did to Tony. And again, I like Michael Chandler a lot. He's a great guy, but I'm a massive Tony Ferguson fan. And so that one kind of hurt my heart a little bit. It hurt my heart. I'm not gonna lie. It hurt my heart, but I have nothing against Michael. I just really like Tony. So that hurt. And so to see those pictures, and the pictures of Tony looked like exactly like Frankie, the way the up kick.
That was weird. I thought they photoshopped it. I thought they photoshopped it.
But it's so interesting, right? Because the gravity of this going up makes this fall down so hard. And then they all look like this cartoon, wilted, melted face. It's the creepiest, weirdest thing.
I hate it. Yeah.
But what a knockout. But so to your point, right? They could put Conor in there. They could put, although he might want to fight at 70 instead more, right? Like, yeah, but you're right. And Charles isn't, he's huge. Conor's massive right now.
He's a big old, swole, like prison body.
He's super swole in his Ferrari or Lamborghini yacht or whatever. He's like living the dream. So Conor's not worried about much right now.
No.
But yeah, you're right. They don't necessarily have to put Charles in there, but I kind of feel like everybody would sort of be like, what the F? Like, how is Charles not fighting for the title? Come on, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Yeah, it's just so disappointing. Because not only did he get kicked with that nasty up kick, Tony, is just the fact that he was doing well in the first round.
Yeah.
Like he was doing well. He wobbled Chandler. Chandler went for the takedown.
Right,
He was
yeah.
doing his Tony thing
Right,
with
it's
the
Tony.
elbows. It's Tony. Get off of me.
From the bottom, yeah. Slice him up, yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this is reminiscent of the Ferguson versus Kevin Lee fight. Like, he's gonna pull this off. Like, I was like, he's gonna pull this shit off. And then the up kick happened. So oh, it's so disappointing. I was very thankful that, you know, I didn't have one of those pictures surface from the limos fight, because it's very possible, you know, and these guys have been in a lot of wars. So sometimes that tap on the chin, like that's gonna be the one to put you out flat. Like you get wobbled. That's all leaving imprints on your brain. And then one day there's just like the perfect angle, an angle you're not expecting, a kick you don't see, and it just, you're out. You wake up minutes later after Chandler does his 10th backflip, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. His fight game is so nuts. And I felt for Tony too, because of all the stuff he was talking about before the fights, you know, just feeling taken advantage of. So I wanted him to get that leverage. And I felt like if he went over Chandler, would have done that. But now he's just back to square one.
Who knows? Well, and this person, Captain Darling 07, saying, I love Tony. But Chandler isn't top level either now, in my opinion, just like Ben Askren, about 5 years too late. See, I don't know if that's true. And Captain Darling coming on your Twitch. I mean, I don't know that Michael Chandler's 5 years too late. Like, Michael Chandler's a machine. He lost to Gaethje. Like, he's been in incredible fights, and the ones he lost because he died on his shield. You know, like Chandler is another person who I feel is gone in there and is willing to sacrifice for our entertainment. And I don't think he's 5 years too late.
And like who's underneath Chandler, because there are so many fun fights to make.
Well, you've got your Makhachevs, you've got your okay. So let me look at the lightweight rankings right now. But yeah, I mean, Islam Makhachev is the boogeyman basically that nobody wants to fight.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll fight him. You don't.
He would. Okay, so
yeah.
Hold on, let's see. Okay, so let me go to the lightweight division right now. And again, like I said, this hasn't been updated, but before this fight, the rankings were as such. They were okay, sorry, I hate to say it, but the UFC website isn't that great. Okay, or I will say this: you have to look at it on Safari or something, because on Chrome and stuff like the UFC site doesn't work that well. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's true. It's not optimized well. It's like great. Whenever I go to ShareDog, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to Tapology.
Well, I don't like ShareDog because I don't like reading white writing on black print. It burns my eyeballs, and like I can't look at it for more than 20 seconds without my eyeballs burning. And so I don't look at ShareDog. Sorry, ShareDog, but I can't. I can't hang with the graphic display. It hurts my eyes too much. So I don't
into dark mode.
I don't look at I don't like that stuff. I mean, I'm into dark mode if you know what I'm talking about, but not on my phones.
Dark chocolate.
I'll entertain some dark mode. I will entertain some dark chocolate. I will entertain. I am an equal opportunity. You know that's true. Okay.
Yes.
So number one prior to this fight, the rankings were Charles Oliveira as the champ. Then Justin was number one. Then it was Poirier. We already know how that goes with Poirier and Oliveira and stuff, right? So Makhachev is number three. My boy Benny Dariush is number four. Michael Chandler was number five. RDA number six. Tony Ferguson was number seven. Gregor Gillespie.
Number 6. Wow.
Yeah, Gregor Gillespie at number 8. Connor was at number 9, and Fiziev is number 10. So I mean, Fiziev is great. Fiziev's going to want to jump and fight a bunch of these guys. But didn't they give RDA a fight? I thought they gave RDA a fight. But look at Chandler Dariush, because I love, because Benny was supposed to fight Islam Makhachev, and then Benny got hurt like a couple days beforehand. He got that ankle injury.
Oh,
but look at which sucks. So they could put Islam Makhachev with like Islam versus Chandler could be interesting because basically Islam is the guy that nobody wants to fight according to whatever. And Michael seems to be the guy that's just like, F it, let's go. So
yeah. And he's got that wrestling, man. Like I feel like wrestling negates so much in MMA. And when you have it down to a T, then you are the boogeyman. Like wrestling is really the boogeyman, in
It
MMA right
is.
now.
That's why
We're still
Gregor,
figuring
nobody wants to
out.
fight Gregor.
Yeah, we're still figuring out how to deal with it. And if you don't come from that background where you're doing it all your life, then you're just like, all right, what do I do now? Like you're still hesitating instead of just going, oh, I've done this for 20 plus years.
Look at Rose
I
and
know.
Carla.
Yeah, exactly. And Carla's actually been wrestling her whole life. So that's why Rose was just like, she and Rose got a good takedown, but the booginess of Carla's takedowns was keeping her away and keeping her from attacking. So, and shout out to Tracy Cortez. Somebody actually mentioned that in the chat. But that was a really good display of wrestling, just wrestling being dominance. And I actually got to train with her a few years before she did her Contender Series fight. And yeah, that girl, she's heavy on top, and she's worked and getting it better, getting the takedowns more often. So that was really cool to see. Not a super fan of the, sexy young couple vibes that's going on.
I am. I gotta be honest with you.
I'm just an old lady. Like that's.
I was just gonna say though, because I was very happy for Tracy. To your point too, right? Yeah. She kind of went into the mouth of the beast and she survived it. Because there were a couple of transitions. There were a couple of places where people were like, I don't know, Tracy, if you should have done that, and she survived it. And it's funny because she was on festivities a couple of weeks ago with me and Hanato, and Brian popped in a few times in the show and stuff and jumped in and out, and they were super cute. But Tracy was talking a lot about that. Yeah. Like her evolution and working on these things that, she wanted to improve, and she really wanted to show out in front of the home crowd. But that was one of those things with the grappling. I was like, well, hey, obviously you have Brian at home, and this is somebody that at any point in the day, you guys might be boiling ramen noodles. And the next thing you know, you're like, wait a minute, let me try this. And she's like, no, it's exactly that. Like we spar, we wrestle, and the fact that you have Adam there too, like it is a real benefit to have somebody that you can train with at any point in the day. And especially with Brian being such a great grappler, obviously he's more of a jiu-jitsu guy, but for her to be able to increase her comfort and her and to be able to be relaxed in places that would maybe priorly be stressful, I thought was really cool. And I felt like I could see that in this fight. Like I felt like I could see Tracy like being more calm and not worried about some of these positions.
Yeah, it's a big ego boost when the grappler underneath you can't swivel their hips. They can't like get the sweep on you that they get on everyone else. They can't like isolate your arm and do weird stuff and make you like not want to get back into that guard. Every time she got in that guard, I was like, get your hands back. What are you doing? But she knew, she could feel it. She was heavy. She was on top and just had good pressure the entire time and kept herself very safe. So it was a really smart game plan. She did really well with that. Also, our boy Roy Val got to finish against poor Danger Gaethje. Another one. Why can't y'all just sign people we don't know? Let them beat them and then get rid of them so we don't fall in love with those guys too,
It's so funny that you say that because, for those who don't know, Brandon Royval's been on this show with us a few episodes back or whatever. We love some Raw Dog. He's so great. And so when that fight started, I was like, that's what's up. Raw Dog's up. And then I was like, oh, crap, he's fighting Max. And I was like, God damn it. Because I've had Max, back doing the Ultimate Fighter and Tough Talk and all this stuff. And I was like, why you gotta be fighting Danger Snell? And then I got mad, and then I was like, I don't want either of these dudes to lose. And like Max has had a hard time. Like he'll be ready to fight, and then his opponent gets sick, or he fell off the scale, and then like just random stuff. And
fell off the scale.
Yeah, one time he like fell off the scale and hit his head or something, and the fight was canceled. It like crazy. Poor Max has had some bad luck. He's had some bad luck, and he's such a nice guy. So yeah, at first I was all like, Raw Dog about to smash a bitch. Oh shoot, he's fighting Max. So then I was just I was bummed, and I was watching it, and it was all Max at first, and I was like, holy crap, look at this! Wow, this is amazing. And then Raw Dog turned it around or whatever. But that fight was entertaining. I mean, look, if people don't, we've said this before, but if people don't watch the flyweights, if people don't watch the lightweight fights, they are the lighter weight classes fights rather. They're just missing out because their excitement from bell to bell, their pace is unbelievable. They're cats in a bag. That fight was awesome.
Yeah, and Done and One is calling you out. It's Matt, not Max. But
Matt Schnell, right? Danger Matt Schnell. Sorry.
But I got caught on radio the other day. I use every C name that I could think of except for the actual. I forget now. I can't even remember his actual name. It was the guy who fought Jeremy Stevens in PFL. And I was calling Clay Collard. And I was like, Cody Collard was blah, blah, blah. And then I think I even changed it. I was like, oh, sorry, not Cody. And I used another C name, Chad. Not Cody, Chad Collard. Sorry. I corrected myself with
Christopher.
The wrong name.
No, not Christopher, not Chad, not Cody, not
and they're like, it's Clay.
All right. Well, listen, Mojo Khalifa agrees that division is so much fun to watch. It 100% is. It really is. And I'm sorry, Matt Schnell, for calling you Max tonight. But yeah, no, it's such a fun division. Yeah. So I was excited about and I know, listen, kind of the way people were bummed about Rose and Carla. I know people got mad about OSP and Shogun and stuff too. And
they erased Carla and Rose erased that from people's
memory. And it's crazy too. But I have to agree though, not for nothing, I'm one of those people too that's like, well, Shogun should only fight in Vale Tudo shorts. Like to see Shogun in anything other than little white Vale Tudo shorts or whatever. Like even that time when he came out in the red ones, I think he fought red ones. Was the red ones for the chael fight or was it green for chael? But he came out and it was like a whole other thing. But like Shogun without Vale Tudo shorts is not Shogun. It's just it's a different. It's not right.
It's a dad version of Shogun. Like it's like the the next stage of evolution of Shogun. Like he's so close to just I don't know, just hanging out on a boat. Fishing like that's
he's one of my all-time favorites. And that's the thing is like, it's hard when one of your all-time favorites, when you start to see them fading or whatever. He's 40 now. And like, he's got 80 years of fights in him. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's crazy that he's only 40. Like to me, that's insane because he has existed since the beginning of MMA. He's been there. He's been there on the ground floor. So it's so crazy to me that he's only 40. Like I thought he was way older than that just because I know his name so well. But that fight, like OSP fought a smart fight. It was boring for most people, but it was a smart game plan to keep him away, especially because he didn't have an answer for it. It's like the jab. If someone's not figuring out a way around it, why do anything else? And
why stop?
Why stop? Like, hey, this is an easy paycheck.
If I have an easy night at work, right? Why would I stop?
Yeah, I'm gonna get both paychecks, and all I have to do is push kick him in the stomach for 2 rounds. Like that's all I have to do. So that was smart by OSP. Obviously, you're not doing yourself any favors when it comes to like contract renegotiation.
He also really needed the win.
Favorite, but he did need the win, and hopefully, when that does come around, that win will get him, re-signed or get him a good contract. Or if they let him go, he could go and get a good contract somewhere else because he has 2 wins over Shogun. Like that's a big deal. It's a big fucking deal. So, that was a smart play by OSP. And Shogun, I think he said he wanted like 2 more fights. I think that's what the commentary said. He wanted 2 more fights. Hopefully including this one, just because he looked small in there too.
Yeah.
Like he didn't look as imposing as he used to when he fought. And OSP is a big dude. He blows up after weigh-ins and he just dwarfed Shogun. So that was really interesting to see as well. So who knows? I'm always a fan of fighters fighting until they're ready to hang it up, as long as their brain's holding up, as long as they're not, forgetting their kids' faces and stuff. Like I'm a fan of that. But once you start slowing down, it's a dangerous game to play because you are too proud to say no to matchups that can give you serious brain damage. Like everyone's too proud. I'm too proud. Those guys are too proud. Like we're not going to back down from a fight.
Yeah, you can't tell a Shoot the Box original, like, yeah, you can't tell Shogun anything, right? I think though, unfortunately for him, and to your point, the older he gets, and he is a legend, and it sucks that there might have been people who just watched for the first time last night and were like, "Who's this guy?" Like, you don't respect who the F Shogun is. You know what I mean?
like just look at the highlights. So much fight.
Right. Yeah. So that hurts to think that people don't give him his due, what he deserves. But I have known and heard or whatever for the last few years, you do get like, you don't train as intensely. He has more injuries. There's, the motivation is different. He's got kids, he's got family, he's got other businesses, he's got things to do. And, OSP is a sort of equivalent match at this point, but it's like, you can't keep giving him too many matchups. They're going to have to be these kind of legacy guys, right? Because we all know the young kids are training way more. They're younger, hungrier, faster, stronger, smarter, whatever. Like, so you can't.
A bunch of tape on you.
Yeah, you can't put him in with a 23-year-old, like and so, yeah. But to your point, right? OSP needed the win. If he's staying with the UFC or if he's going somewhere else, 2 wins over Shogun means a lot. And yeah. But dude, people were brutal on social media about that fight.
Were they? I wasn't paying attention. What were they? What was the vibe?
People were just brutal. Like, they were just brutal about it being the worst fight ever or the most boring fight ever. And like, when you have Kevin Iole even like just trash talking people on Twitter about, like, Kevin Iole was leaning into it real hard, trash talking that fight. I was like, dang, people were kind of merciless about that fight. I'm sure in the comments here too, people or whatever, but yeah,
everyone's like, fuck that fight. No.
Yeah, people are,
leave them alone. They did more than the strawweights.
Well, this person agrees with you that they thought Shogun was 45 already.
Hey, yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, so Joe McKenna said that Dana said Shogun's got 1 fight left and he'll give him that fight. I mean, yeah, it's like there are a couple of other light heavyweights that are up there a little bit in age or something, because again, yeah, you can't give him. That's why when we were on Fight Island and he fought Little Nog and they had that rematch and he won that fight, I was like, oh, not for nothing, that would have been a good one to, like, because Little Nog retired after that, but it was like, it would have been a good one to,
like both put, how epic was that, man? Like both put their like gloves on the
massive Shogun fan. I don't want to see him stop fighting. But at the same time, like, I want to remember like soccer kick Shogun and head kick Shogun and like beast mode Shogun and Shogun who got robbed in that first fight against Leo. Like, Shogun was like a, whatever. And so after that Little Nog fight, I was like, oh yeah, this would have been a really good time to just leave the gloves.
They should give him one more fight and allow soccer kicks to a ground
in Brazil.
Yeah. I will be there in my Just Bleed shirt.
Yes, give him an opponent. Like, if they had special rules, if his opponent was like signed off on it, like special rules, head soccer kicks fight.
Yes, dude, I want him to get released so he could go with ONE FC and do that. Like, that's what I want to. That's what I want to trajectory in his career. Yeah, get out of UFC, go to ONE FC, do some crazy fight like a Demetrius Johnson and Rod Tang. They had like a first round Muay Thai, second round MMA. Like, let's do that. First round regular MMA, second round Pride rules. Let's see, and it's 10 minutes long.
Okay, you say that. So here's the thing: if you guys were allowed soccer kicks, how would you feel about that?
Fuck yes, I would love the shit out of that. Yes. No,
even though on the receiving end.
No one will want to shoot on me, because if they fuck it up, they're getting kicked in the head. If you watch tape, there are multiple times where I almost knee a girl in the face who's on the ground, like multiple times, because you're in the flow. They do something, you trip them, or you stuff the takedown. They're on their hands and feet, and you expect them to come up, and they hesitate. And dude, that's a KO right there. Like, boosh, knee right up the middle, like fucking right on that noggin, knee the coconut, and man, like when you don't have like, your feet underneath you so you can go away from the blow. Like it's brutal. You're basically sitting there like a Thai pad, like a
Right.
punch mitt, and boom, get hit there. So yeah, I would definitely be into that because I'm not the type of person who grovels when I wrestle, like
Yeah.
I'm going to go for kind of more the Greco style where I'm digging for underhooks. I'm not like trying to like go, whoa, here comes my head. So
Right.
that's when a lot of people get in trouble. And yeah, it's going to be scary. Like I think DJ was actually on the receiving end of some soccer kicks in his previous fight that he lost in ONE FC. So it's definitely scary, but if you know what's going to happen, then you can prepare for it. So it's all about being prepared for it. I would hate if somebody fucking did that to me in a rule set that didn't allow it, because I'd be like, yo, I didn't get the memo. Like I could have been kicking you in the face a long time ago. So I hate when stuff like that happens, but when you know that's what you agreed to, I love that rule set. It's definitely something that I've always been interested in doing, and man, maybe I'll do it one day. We'll see.
Well, see, listen, is your doorbell ringing and your phone blowing up? What's going on?
No, I got that ring system, so nobody tried to rob me. But yeah, I got the ring system, so Adam just walked outside.
Well, I'm saying I only say this and because I agree with you. There are so many times watching fights that I know if I was in that person's position, I'm like, oh, I had to throw the illegal knee. Like I totally would have thrown that illegal knee. Like I know myself as. Yeah. I used to play soccer and basketball and baseball and everything. And for a time when I was playing soccer, I was a keeper, and you can do whatever you want as keeper because they'll never call a foul on a keeper, right? It's like, and so I used to. I mean, that's the closest I ever came to being in a fight or whatever, rolling a bitch, was being a keeper playing soccer because you get away with whatever you want. And it's all under the guise of, well, I was just going for the ball. I mean, and her head happened to be there and my elbow happened to be there.
Nice.
Nice. But it's that kind of thing.
That you like to throw elbows at bitches. Like that's
amazing. Dude. And these are so pointy, Angie. Yes. Look at this. Like these are slice them up elbows for sure.
I got pointy elbows too. Mine are a little bigger now.
Yeah.
Like,
nice.
They used to be little. I used to have a little nub like you, but it's expanded.
Nice.
The more that and it's mad ashy right now too. Please don't.
It is a little ashy. But I'd be all about those like lead elbows and stuff like that. Like I would definitely be a Tony cut him up kind of person or whatever. So I feel you on that. I do know myself too, that I would be the type to 100% probably get busted for throwing soccer kicks. I just know I don't want to receive one because that looks scary as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it would suck to get soccer kick. Like, I'm not going to lie. It would definitely suck. But if you know that's going to happen, I feel like a striker would be more aware of the fact that someone's about to soccer kick them than a grappler, because there's a lot of like and you see it in MMA with our rule set. You see a lot of people going for submissions and they get punched in the face. Like you commit 2 arms to something, you're giving up a position to get punched in the face, or you're going for a position but you can get punched in the face, like going for leg locks, like going for arm bars when you're on your back. Like there's all these positions where if you're not like locked in, if you don't have that submission tight, you're going to get punched in the face. They can hang out, they can stack you and just boom, rain down punches, rain down elbows. It's dangerous. So grapplers, I feel like a lot of times they learn the hard way, going for stuff, committing both of their hands to something, and then getting hurt, getting wobbled a little bit. There was that one crazy fight where I forget who it was. I don't think it was Ryan. I don't think it was Ryan Hall, but it might have been, where he was going real hard for a heel hook, pretty much destroyed the guy's knee, but got knocked out doing it. And the guy whose knee got destroyed won.
Because he was hammer fisting him or something?
Yeah,
probably,
he was just like, boom, 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 boom. So like life or death situation, like, both people are maimed, but at least you got the guy unconscious. Now you can do whatever you want to that guy, so it's definitely, I feel like strikers are a little more aware of those soccer kicks, even if it's like a grounded opponent, like, oh, they're bringing their hips back, they're about to kick me in the face.
Right. Well, speaking of oh no, listen here, head stomps while holding on to the cage. Are you down for that too?
Yes, I'm so down for that.
What about downward elbows? The elbow thing is such a like what do you call it? A questionable rule anyway.
It
Like
doesn't make sense.
who decides what's 12,
Yeah,
12,
this
6
is
versus
not hard. I can't generate power doing that. Like I can't generate power doing this as much as this. Like this, I get my hips into that. If anything, that should be illegal, but it's not. So it's like, okay, if we could do this one, then
I guess I understand the thing about breaking the collarbone with the downward, but
that's stupid. Like it was literally a demonstration, like a kung fu demonstration, where they had a cinder block or something, or a block of ice, and they went, "This is a 12-6 elbow, pa pa," and then it broke, and they're like, "Well, we can't do those," and it's like, it's crazy. Like you can't do it anywhere. It's not just the collarbone. Like you can't do 12-6 elbow anywhere on the body. You couldn't do it to their foot. You get warned about doing a 12-6 elbow to the toe. Yeah, it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense because our weapons, the other elbows, are just as dangerous and just as nasty. And usually people are throwing 12-6 on accident. Like they're not
they end up that.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they end up that way. Okay, well, speaking of smashing a bitch, because we are going to talk about smashing a bitch now. It is fight week for you. And you are fighting Virna Jandiroba. That is at UFC Vegas 54. So all of your fight week, all your prep stuff is done. And so now you're just in like the cool down physically, but the ramp up mentally in a lot of, right? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, definitely. Lots of just chilling, lots of keeping myself calm, because a lot of times if you're stressing about the fight, you can go into the fight stress. So it's just like keeping all that energy for fight day. And just a lot of self-talk, like telling yourself, reminding yourself how good you are, that I'm the best, reminding myself how much work I did.
Write it on a mirror and lipstick. You should be listening to only Lizzo this week, because by the way, I've been watching a lot of Lizzo and like Lizzo's Big Girls show and stuff like that. And that show, if you need a confidence boost, if you want to feel good about yourself, I'm telling you, anybody out there, watch Lizzo's show. Watch out for the Big Girls. Okay. You will watch that show and you'll be like, I am a bad bitch. Like she does a really good job of making you feel good about who you are and like owning your power. I gotta be honest, like you should watch that if you ever get to a point where you're like, I don't know, just throw on a Lizzo episode.
Okay, I will. It definitely sounds like weight cut material. Like I'll be in there like all sad and like,
yeah, you should watch it.
My life decisions, and then Liz will start talking to me and making me feel good about myself. Like,
I'm telling you,
I am good. And another thing is, I think a lot of fighters are like this, but you get really emotional when you cut weight. So I was real embarrassed because I was around all my corner, and we just cut weight, and it was in New Zealand, and I did this crazy week where I took a short notice flight in New Zealand. I also agreed to do Joe Rogan's show, and I went and did Joe Rogan's show right before I got on the plane to New Zealand. So for that fight, I finished cutting weight, and that stupid Post Malone song came on. It's like, my mama called, see me on TV. Shout out to the moms out there. Happy Mother's Day. And I started crying because my mom called me and told me she saw me on Joe Rogan. I was like, my mom did call me. You gotta say congratulations. Yeah, I was on my bed rehydrating and crying, dry tears.
Right. Hey, well, listen, I was gonna say on Thursdays I'm usually writing the scripts, but I was like, if I get my scripts done in time, I should come over and cut weight with you.
Yeah, come to the weight cut party. I usually try to get people to like drink and have fun and
wait, like, baby girl, we're gonna be in the same hotel now, because now I get to stay. We're back. Like they screwed everything up. So I think I'll still be back at I think I'll be in the fighter. Do you cut in the fighter hotel or do you go over to the PI?
Yeah, no, I do fighter hotel. Just like
Oh, well then, yeah, I probably
get it
can come
nice and
by on
stinky.
Thursday.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
through.
yeah,
I'll send you
yeah,
my
yeah, I'll come
I'll
by.
send you
No,
my
actually,
room
I should
number.
do. I should come by and try to cut a little. I mean, I want to look good for the shows on Friday.
Hey, get your jump on.
Maybe I'll come and cut weight with you. If I get my scripts done written in time, that'd actually be really fun.
Nice. Yeah. Get you a sauna suit. They have extra ones downstairs. So I
Yes,
always get my
let's do
sauna suit
this.
from the UFC.
Yeah, let me get one of
Yeah.
those.
Get your abs going. Abs on fleek.
Ooh,
And then you
I'm
gotta wear a crop
popping.
top on the
I
post
mean,
show.
the abs are usually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey.
I don't have an ab problem, Angie. I have a thigh problem. It's
Yes.
not even a problem. I say problem,
That's
and
not
some
a
guys are like,
problem.
"Yo, that's not a problem, KB."
Oh, guys.
But for me,
Oh,
I always felt
guys.
like my area of like stress, or where I'm most critical of myself, is between my knee and my waist. Like my thighs have always been my thing.
Man, if you're not a thigh guy, then your name is Chad. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're not a thigh guy, get out of here. Oh my goodness.
Well, listen, I should pack a bathing suit this week in case I want to come cut weight with you. That would actually be
Yeah,
really
let's
fun.
go. Yeah.
All right. Listen, Joe McKenna saying, "Hill, my favorite female fighter. Love her." All right, Joe
Thank
McKenna.
you,
That's what's up.
Joe. Yeah.
That is what's up. Yes, that's right. Mojo, we could do a behind the scenes. What had happened was we cut some water and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
we're
what
skinny
is
for a
so
second.
with Virna? Have you seen? Has there been another fight of hers in the UFC that you studied maybe more than others? Are there clues that you know have found to sort of finding her weaknesses and that kind of thing?
Well, she hasn't really fought a good striker, I felt like.
Yeah.
Like she hasn't fought someone of my caliber, especially someone who's as well-rounded as me.
Mhm.
Like is usually a grappler versus grappler matchup, or
Right.
wrestler versus BJJ specialist matchup. Even with the Rebus fight, a lot of it was on the feet, or most of it was on the feet, but that was more of like that was more of a striking, or that was more like a judo versus jiu-jitsu matchup, so
Right.
I feel like I'm gonna be coming in with a lot of things that she's gonna have to worry about, and that's always a fun fight. Like before, it was the type of fight that would make me extra nervous, just someone who has a lot of finishes,
Mhm.
has like, they're so determined to get to the ground. They will do anything. They will fall to the ground. They will climb
Like
up you. They
to
will like
drag you down, right?
they will act like they get knocked out just so you take the bait, jump on top of them, and they're like, "Gotcha, bitch." So
Right.
that's the funny thing about her. She's a desperate grappler. She's not just a grappler, she's a desperate one. So that's something that has tripped me up in the past, and I have to watch out for, but I feel really prepared for it. And I think she's a little wild with her striking. So I think
Yeah.
that works well for me as well. As long as I'm like moving and getting out of the way and, being
Right.
light on my feet, I feel like a lot of the things that I've already been doing in the past are going to work well against her. So I think the Rebus fight is one where, because it was on the feet for so long,
Mhm.
she had her looking like a kickboxing champion out there. So so I'm like, okay, I think I can handle this, like on the feet at
Yeah.
least, and yeah, we'll see what happens on the ground if it goes there. Like I'm okay with it going to the ground. I'm not in a place where I'm like, oh God, if it goes to the ground, I gotta get up immediately. Like,
Right.
like I'm okay with grappling with her, with defending her takedowns, or taking her down. I'm not afraid of that exchange.
Yeah.
So that's the fun part about it. I'm not fighting scared anymore. I can walk forward. I can punch her in the face as hard as I want, and whatever happens, I'll be ready for it.
Nice. Nice. Well, so for those who don't know, just to put a little context in it, yeah. So Virna's last fight was against Amanda Ribas. Last October, she lost by unanimous decision. She beat Kanako Murata by TKO, but that's an arm injury to Kanako. So
Yeah, she armbarred her, and
I
Kanako
can't
didn't tap.
remember.
And then she went into the second round with her arm hanging.
Oh, right. And it was kind of
I
rough,
was like,
right? And
holy
she couldn't
shit, like
really,
that girl's tough. Yeah. But
right.
Kanako, like even looking at her old tape, I was like, oh, she should be able to stuff Virna's like BJJ attacks. but you could see she would put herself deep into arm bars and then just rely on stacking and passing, when it's like she didn't need to be there in the first place. So like I can already tell that my defense is going to be better than a lot of the girls that she has submitted on the ground.
Nice. And yes. Okay. So yeah, before Hebos, she beat Kanako, but then prior to that, she lost to Mackenzie by unanimous decision. I mean, hey, that's something not getting submitted by Mackenzie, right? So I guess maybe her sub defense is kind of, I don't remember that fight necessarily.
It was a lot it was a lot of standing.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I'm like, because I would imagine if it had gone to the ground, Mackenzie's like kind of money. So
no, she did a good job of defending. I don't think there was a lot of groundwork in that fight.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. And I know Mackenzie, has been working on her striking with Jason and stuff. So that might have been one where she was trying to show off her striking more anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't remember that. But yeah, but Virna did beat Felice and Mallory Martin, but she's lost to Carla. It sounds like you know what to do, and you're not afraid of what she has. My thing with her is just that she seems kind of big for the class, but you said you didn't think she was overly big.
I mean, she's probably big. Everyone's bigger than me. Like, I don't know. Fucking Michelle Watterson's fat ass is bigger than me.
Like, I guess that's what it is, is that you are on the smaller side of it, like you and Jess and stuff.
Yeah, old news, man. Like, Jess is bigger than me, Like, it's like not, like, I'm not big. People think I'm big.
No, yeah. Well, no, and it's crazy because
I'm buff, but last, like, my frame is smaller than most strawweights.
And last night when I was watching Macy and Norma, I was like, holy crap, these girls weigh 30 pounds more than Angie. Like literally that was in my head because I always think you're teeny tiny, and I'm like, wait, holy snap. Like that's a 30-pound difference between you and Macy, which seems crazy to me in a way. I mean, like I believe it because Macy's even taller than me and stuff, but I'm just sort of like, God damn, Angie's tiny.
I'm a little girl. I'm a little tiny girl. No, I feel big though. Like I feel like I command bigness, even though
you got big energy.
Physics, but you're I got big energy, but like I'm little. But I feel like Virna can't be any bigger than Claudia Gadelha. I felt like I handled her soundly, and now, if I drop her, I'm not going to be afraid to jump on top of her. Like that was the other big like eureka moment where I was just like, I could have won that fight if I had jumped on top of Claudia when I sat her down. Like I spun her around, sat her down, and my corner yelled, "No, stay up." And it was so hard to get that knockdown again that I should have jumped on top of her. And I understand that now, at least to get some pot shots, at least to like really have her sucking air in the third round. And now I feel confident to do something like that against a black belt who is going to be very grabby, who is going to have the wherewithal to get a sweep just because I'm rushing in, and I'm getting overly aggressive. Like those are real things that could happen. So I understand why my corner said don't get on top of her. But I've done the work. So now if I drop Claudia Gadelha, if I drop Virna, I could jump on top of that bitch and punch the shit out of her. I could jump on top of her and start setting up a submission. I can do things on this person that I wasn't able to do 2 or 3 years ago. So that's the really cool thing about going into a fight like this after all the work that I put in.
I love it. All right. Well, I feel like, should we get to if there's any more questions before we wrap it up? I know we said we were going to do a short show, and meanwhile, it's late.
What the hell?
I'm going to like dinner for Mother's Day, stuff like that. And I actually need to wrap it up. We're going to get some sushi, and we went to farmer's market and got this like great big brie and like a baguette with brie and pounded champagne, and literally now I'm like, I wasn't even that hungry again, and I even told her, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be that hungry, but this place that we go makes the best crispy rice with spicy tuna on it that we just want to go and like mainline. Like you literally get there and you just like just keep the crispy rice coming until somebody passes out.
Like drooling. I'm so mad that you're
Oh,
like
I'm
telling me
sorry.
about all the all the food and drinking you're doing. No, but that's the nice thing about being smaller. Like I can pretty much eat until I get to Vegas. Like so, I'm
Yeah, you
probably
just
gonna have
posted a picture
pasta
with Adam
tonight.
making pasta for you.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have pasta again tonight. But no drinking. Like I can't. I've decided not to drink until after the fight. So it's only been like a month, but that's a long time for me. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that champagne, for that nightcap, for that little whiskey on the rocks. Yes, I'm excited.
Well, plus I'm excited that I'm working. So on Saturday night after I get off the air on the post show, we gonna get a little tipsy.
Yeah, let's go. I'm probably gonna be wasted by the time you get off the post
I'm
show.
sure you will be well trashed. I will just communicate with Adam on Saturdays because I will feel like you're gonna either lose your phone or
we'll probably be in the room. Just come knock on the door.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, well listen, until then, Ange, where can everybody like follow you and everything? Because we should probably wrap this up, but we want to make sure, especially during fight week, that everybody's following you and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch if you haven't yet at Angie Overkill. Also, you can hit me up at Overkill Hill on TikTok. And not this week, but usually I'm doing Sirius Radio. What is it? MMA fighting every Wednesday.
Right.
I actually I have to do a thing.
And here, I have this little thing too. I forgot. I can show them here. So this is where you can find. This is where you can find what had happened. We're on Angie's Twitch, on my YouTube, and over on Twitter. So at least that's where you can find us in terms of finding what had happened was.
Yes.
And I need to make another page because we are also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio.
Yeah, so check it out. And where can they find you, Karyn? Oh, you already did it, did you?
No, well, that was a show. Yeah. So on Twitter and YouTube, Karyn, Bryant doesn't Kobe, no relation, but may he rest in peace. Over on Instagram, it's at KB Heat. But yeah, this was episode 63 of our show, Ange.
63.
So yeah, last week's show was Rude Boy Randy Brown, who won his fight. So you might want to check that out. And like I said, over on Festivities, the last couple episodes, we had Danny Roberts and Tracy Cortez on. So folks should go and look at those as well, because they were just both real fun episodes. Also Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio for this show. But yeah, Angie is fighting on Saturday. These fights are on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus, I believe. We will have the pre-show and UFC Live on Friday, and then baby girl throwing down on Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I want it to happen now. This is when the anticipation begins. Nerves don't start really until I don't know. I walk past her a couple times and I'm like, I'm about to fight. Yeah, I'm excited.
Nice. And are you wearing the white kit again?
Yeah, I like wearing the white. I didn't do my tan like I wanted to this camp, but I'm wearing the white. I still think it's gonna pop, and the braids are coming out. So say goodbye.
Oh, we having a fro?
Hair. Yeah, the fro's coming back.
Nice.
I don't know. I just like that it doesn't move.
Yeah.
It stays in place. Yeah, I don't have to worry about my baby hair. Like it's a fro. Yeah, all of it looks like this. So yeah. Excited.
It's nice. I just imagine in real life, if I held up your shorts, they would be like this big.
Maybe I'll send you a pair.
You should I could maybe put one up my arm, like these teeny little really.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll let you
all right, folks. Well, thank you.
Party.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you so much for joining us, and to all the mothers out there and mother figures, and just people who maybe mothers, people in their community, or just look after everybody. We just hope you guys have all had a great day, and we appreciate all the moms out there. And I gotta say, I'm a mom myself, and I do a mediocre job at it.
You do great, man. You are killing it. Karyn. Oh, and Mojo Khalifa sent us another little pump up. big means more
Oh,
to him.
thank
Small
you.
a gas tank. Hell fucking yeah. I could go forever.
Wow, what a donation. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Gee, yeah, overkill. What a win.
My chair started turning.
Smash that bitch.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
let's go.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Right.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't wait. Awesome. So much. So thank you everybody for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we will see you on the next one. But make sure you tune in on Saturday night when baby girl is smashing. All right, folks. Let me make sure I do this right. Let me get our goodbye here ready because I'm just being all cool and everything. But yes, thanks everybody. And yeah, we'll see you.